Yo, welcome back to the channel, everyone. Hopefully you guys are having a great rest of your day, start to your day, whatever time it may be. And in this video, we are going to be talking about some new news within the ProCharger world. This is pretty interesting because this is going to pertain specifically to my ProCharged Shelby GT350 and some upgrades that we could be going ahead and making in the very near future. So if you guys enjoy these types of videos where I go over news as well as updates, feel free, drop a like on the vid, subscribe to the channel, turn on those post notifications to stay up to date. And with all being said, let's get a cold start and get on the way. All right, let's go ahead and get this cold start, y'all. It's been a couple days, like 2 days, I think. Whew. Weather's been kind of inconsistent. It's been raining, sunny. We got a dry patch, so we're gonna go ahead and fire up the car. 3, 2, 1. Woo! Speaking of ProChargers, I have to do a ProCharger oil change on my car very, very soon because I am now at 1,100 miles. And that means we need to change the oil on the ProCharger. Man, 1,100 miles already. Actually, it's been some time. It's been over a month. Woo. Car got dirty. On that 93. It will be on E85 very, very shortly. Very, very shortly. You know, we got to do the pre-flight check. Let this car warm up, then we're gonna head out. Because it's been like really inconsistent, it takes a little bit for it to warm up. Like it was literally like 50 degrees a couple of days ago, now it's like 80. Bipolar Texas weather, let me tell you. All right, we are on the road. Hit a little rush hour traffic, but it is what it is. Let's go ahead and talk about the new ProCharger head unit that is gonna be on the market very, very soon. Pretty interesting because this head unit is something that I would consider upgrading to on my Shelby GT350. I think a lot of you guys as well would consider upgrading to this, especially if you're trying to go ahead and make a little bit over 1,000 wheel horsepower. Obviously, I'm not too interested in making over 1,000 horsepower. I'd be doing this just for efficiency reasons or potentially efficiency reasons. Now, the new head unit is going to be called the ProCharger P1R. So we have a P1SC, a P1X, and now we have a P1R. Now, the difference between the P1R and a lot of the existing ProChargers we have right now is this is going to be a head unit that is going to be capable of 1,200 horsepower. It's gonna have 1,800 CFM as well. Ooh, that's a nice S550 over there. Jesus. 1,800 CFM as well as a max boost of 36.
So the P1R is inspired basically by all you out there. We've gotten great feedback on the P1X. The P1X is like, it took everything that people liked about a P1SC and made it better. Right. So like a P1SC was a great blower, but when you're making like 650, 700, 800 horsepower, you needed something bigger, and you wanted to keep that efficiency going. So that's how the P1X started, but the P1X also had to be a CARB certified blower. This blower was built because we wanted to build it, because everybody out there was like, I want, you get this. What's the number everybody wants?
Everyone wants 4 digits.
There you go.
Today, your car is not fast unless that's a 4-digit horsepower number.
Amen. Amen. A P1X can get there, but that's the end of its line.
Right.
That's the top.
It's really huffing by that.
That is the top. It's gonna be fine. It's not gonna break. Everything's great, but it's the end, right?
Yeah.
The P1R, now its sweet spot. The P1R, we rate at 1,200. We rate this at 900, and we already know what people do with it. This one's at 1,200, so again, could it go a little higher? Absolutely. But for a guy that wants like 800, 900, 1,000, this is now just in its sweet spot for that.
This is something that I would definitely be considering upgrading to, because the Shelby GT350 is a high revving engine. So if I can go ahead and capitalize on both mid-range as well as top end, that is something that I would 100% go ahead and consider upgrading towards. Because right now I have a D1SC ProCharger on my Shelby GT350. The reason I went with the D1SC ProCharger is because I wanted a ProCharger that could punch hard in the mid-range, but also have the top end. It's not gonna have the top end of a D1X, but it's also gonna hit a little bit harder down low than the D1X does. And that's exactly kind of what I wanted to have happen. Now, I also don't really care about making anything over 1,000 wheel horsepower, which is why I'm kind of on the fence a little bit on upgrading to the P1R. I need to go ahead and see, first of all, like a dyno sheet, so I can go ahead and like read the curve and kind of understand exactly what the blower is doing on a Coyote. And also, I definitely want to see some 60 to 130 and some draggy quarter mile, so I can have an idea on how it is performing, you know, obviously on a Coyote platform. Now, I'm running 8 pounds of boost with the D1SC. That's not a lot of boost, but it's enough boost to get the D1SC moving. The thing about ProChargers and why I believe they're actually going ahead and making a revised head unit is because there are so many head units out there that I feel like people don't understand what head unit they should be buying for their platform. Come on, brother, man, what are you doing?
Totally new volute, totally new impeller. And you saw in here, this impeller is something else. So bigger inlet compared to like the P1X, and obviously, you know, air in, air out, right? You're always gonna have like a choke point at an inlet, where now this is 103 millimeter true inlet diameter, and now we went to a 3.5 inch outlet because most guys got a 3.5 inch inlet and outlet on their intercooler. So now if they want, they can keep that 3.5 inch tubing throughout the whole thing all the way to the throttle body. Where the P1R is only a 9 3/4 inch volute. So the P1X is 9 inch, 9 3/4. So it's barely grown. So it'll fit in like your G8, it'll fit in a Camaro, it'll fit in a Mustang without like hacking the living heck out of something.
Right.
Because an F1X, it was like you're probably cutting the fender out.
You're going to start cutting the structure out. Yep.
So this was just meant for big bad boy street cars that want to make 4 digits and do it all day long.
As I was saying, I don't think people understand what head unit they should be buying for their platform, and they end up going ahead and buying a head unit that is too big, that is out of its efficiency range. Now, what I mean by out of its efficiency range is there are so many people that go ahead and put on F1X, F1A94 ProChargers when they're only trying to make 800 wheel horsepower. Everybody thinks bigger is better when it comes to superchargers and turbos, and that's just not the case. That's exactly why I went with a D1SC. Now, my goal with this car is realistically to make 800 to 850. That is 100% possible with 8 to 10 pounds of boost on E85, you know, depending on the air outside. You know, 10 pounds of boost, E85, this car is making 800 horsepower, 100%. That's what I want to go ahead and make. And I know I do not need a D1X or an F1X or an F1A or something like that to go ahead and make that power, because then this car would be out of its efficiency range. I mean, 10 pounds of boost with a D1X, an F1A, an F1X, F1A94, that's not even spinning the blower. And a lot of people go ahead and do that, make that mistake, and then their cars are incredibly lazy down low, and they don't come alive up top until like 130 miles an hour. And by then, you know, it's too late. You're already gapped.
Packaging wise, it's going to be very similar to a P1X.
Same bolt pattern.
Same bolt pattern, same everything.
Same gear case. Same belt, same pulley, all of that. So it's just the volute and the impeller. So it's going to have a true like a 4-inch inlet tube instead of like a 3 3/4. So
okay,
minor difference.
So then talk to me about the belt drive system and extra, obviously moving more air. We're going to have more drag on the belt. So what do we have to do to mitigate belt flip?
Well, the good news is, I mean, we can do all the 10 rib stuff on this if we want to. The 8 rib drive is, I mean, like on the Mustangs, guys are going 7s on an 8 rib drive on a Mustang, so not a big deal there.
So let's talk a little bit about upgrade path, right?
Sure.
This is obviously much more capable than your standard P1 SC.
Yes.
You know, what about someone who's already upgraded to maybe an F1A and they're already in that F gear case class?
Sure.
Should they go to a P1R or should they look at maybe an F1A 94 instead?
Well,
what's the differences?
Well, so to answer that question, we have this.
The F1R 103.
An F1R 103.
There's probably no reason to put an F1A 94 on a street car anymore.
Well, once this comes out, yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
once these are out.
As long as it fits and all that. I mean, it is, again, there's nothing wrong with an F194.
Yeah.
It was just built for a racing class. This is not. I can't say that a racing class isn't going to use it. It just wasn't designed for it.
So that's exactly why I went with the blower that I have on the car right now, and why I believe they're going ahead and having these other head units come out, because a lot of customers are confused on what they should be buying for their platform, and they're thinking bigger is better, but they're going to be making these mid-range blowers that can make the power that the Big Daddy blowers can produce, but also are going to be more efficient in the mid-range, which is where realistically a lot of cars need to wake up, especially a Coyote car. So that's why I believe the P1R was created, and why I think it'll be an actually good blower for the Coyote platform. Let me know down in the comment section what you guys think.